Okay guys, so welcome to the United States. If you are a refugee or asylum seeker like me, all the worst things that could have happened to you are behind you now and you are safe.
But most probably your pockets are empty and you are surrounded by an unknown large country with a different language and culture. It means that ahead of you is the most difficult stage of adaptation.
But don't be scared, you are in the one of the most refugee-friendly country in the world. According to my experience, I'll tell you how to survive in Houston, which will be relevant for other cities and states. You are on the Exile YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, please. Of course, America is a safe country, but every country has criminality and dangerous places.
Of course, if you are in the wrong district in Texas, it doesn't mean that in the same moment you'll see an armored car full of armed sicarios who have some interesting questions for you.
But it's quite unpleasant to find yourself in a huge unknown city in the middle of the night. A similar situation happened to me. Of course, I safely survived that night until my hotel opened, but all this time I was worried because I didn't know if this area is safe or not.
Maybe you have no booked hotel, maybe your hotel is closed until the morning, maybe you have no money. First, you need to check one of the Houston crime maps. Later, the service will be helpful when you will explore the city.
I'll put the link to one of them in the description. All other useful links will be there. You should know that most Americans are truly kind and helpful people.
Don't be shy to ask for help. For example, you can wait out the first night in a 24-hour market or out the public place if it's open. Seeing a person in trouble, most likely the locals will help, rather than throw him out.
The following advice is more suitable not even for beginners, but for those who are still on the way. Save your money. Of course, I'll tell you how to survive with an empty wallet, but it's very difficult to live without a cash when you can't even buy a bottle of cola.
If you'll have almost $4,000 on arrival, then you have an opportunity to spend it on the most important things in Texas and the whole United States. A driver license and a car, very cheap but working. And this is not a whim or an exaggeration. In the USA you will have to travel huge distances. Uber is expensive and public transport is poorly developed.
I spent all my last money for the video making tools, now look where I am. But if I was smarter, I would have bought Boss, the car and the studio. Alright, it's time to build your new life in a new country. At first, I recommend you to visit a large local church, but not just for prayer. This is the place where you will definitely find help, and perhaps the church will become the basis of your future.
I can imagine how your mind creates in your head the picture of the prisoner Jean Valjean, a character from the novel Les Miserables, seeking shelter with the good bishop. I had the same picture in my head when I was advised to turn to church for help.
Now I'm a churchgoer and sometimes a volunteer of Memorial Church of Christ in Houston.
Churches in Texas and beyond often serve as the most social services. Moreover, they unite a developed community around them. Here you can find new friends, including those who speak the same language as you.
В нашей церкви большое и дружное русско-украинское сообщество, поэтому ласково просим.
Here you can find help with the selection and possibly provision of housing, furniture, food, clothing, essentials, school supplies, mental support and even work. The main advantage is that the church provides it as charity, without unnecessary bureaucracy.
This is the best solution for political immigrants who are waiting for a court and cannot receive assistance from the government.
If you are a refugee, for example from Ukraine, then you can get official support under federal and state programs. In Houston, those services are also provided by the Christian organization Catholic Charities. If you are not afraid of American bureaucracy, you can try to get benefits from the state by submitting an application on the Texas Health and Human Services website.
But if you need support here and now, you'll have to take matters into your own hands.
In addition to the well-known emergency service 911, the United States also has a source of information about local social resources and services in the country, 211. If your English is not good enough to phone call them, you can use the local 211 website to find the service you need. You can see the full list of the types of services on the screen. As you understand, 211 is a directory and a map of organizations providing social services.
I especially want to tell you about food banks or food pantries. This is the simplest but necessary type of help you'll need.
In the United States, food banks appear to be the most common form of free social support, benefiting all segments of society. With a few exceptions, pantry food is of good quality and meets most needs. You can visit several food food banks. They are limited only by an internal visit limit, usually twice a month. To find the pantries and understand the terms of service, it's better to use the separate Houston Food Bank's app or website. Similar to food, you can find services with free clothing, free essentials, free help with physical and mental health, free jobs, free cash. In addition to 211, you can use findhelp.org.
Finding the most suitable and high-quality assistance option, as I said earlier, becomes much easier if you have your own car. Based on this, car is the most profitable investment, even if you spend your last money on it. If you have a strong entrepreneurial spirit or you're just looking for cheap home stuff, clothes and personal items, I suggest you to take a look at abandoned storage units. This is the best way to start your own small business.
All you need is to buy one of the units at auction, then go to the storage, get the case and clean it out. Their final cost rarely exceeds $100. Exceptions may be units whose photos clearly show cars or any expensive items.
An average price of abandoned storage stuff is almost always several times higher than the cost of its purchase.
And sometimes people can find a real treasure, money and jewelry. For example, on my channel there is a video about the unit where we found a collection of new Air Jordan sneakers and many other useful items.
We paid only $80 for it. Now I again want to return to the people who are still in their post-Soviet countries, who want but don't know how to leave their homeland.
I advise you to contact my old friend, Ukrainian pranker Evgeny Volnov, now known as Major Chernobayev, and his project Evacuation. He has already taken more than 150 people from Russia, including those whom I know personally. Moreover, I was going to become one of them. He prepared our departure to Poland, but at the last moment our plans were ruined by the war.
Evgeny usually evacuated people to the Europe, but now I can help with a trip to the United States in Texas. The only rule: you must be against the war and the Putin regime. Evacuation project link is in the description. I hope you found the information in this video helpful. Please support my channel by liking, subscribing and sharing. And maybe you can even buy me a coffee. See you, дамы и господа.